Thank you, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of C3 Comics. I appreciate all you guys stopping by, checking out the channel. I know with this COVID-19 situation going on, everybody's dealing with a lot of different things in their lives. I know it's pretty difficult for the comic shops right now. Shout out to DJ's Cards and Comics, who always take care of me and have always been good to me during my collecting, and I really appreciate them. So I have my comic book haul today, and what I want to do is I want to show you my comic book haul, but because of what's going on and we're not certain what's going to happen with the comic shop, I wanted to spend a little bit more money in there with them. So I wasn't able to grab a whole bunch of things, but what I did was I spent some more money. I grabbed some fillers. I grabbed some missing comics that I needed for my collection, just to, you know, fill some empty spots, and I'll continue to try to do so the best way I can. As long as they pop the gate for me, I don't care if they hand them to me through the door. I'll hand them a list. They'll go grab them, and I'll take what they can give me, you know, just to try to help keep them open. So, you know, this channel has always been about our love for comics. Always have been about the passion that we share for comic books. So I want to continue to try to provide that and extend that olive branch to my local comic shop, the ones who have always been great with me. So Ben, Dave, Steve, I really appreciate you guys, and I'm always here if you guys need me. So without further ado, we'll jump right into my haul, and you guys know the routine. Like, subscribe, share, ring the bell. I will continue to do posts. Just don't forget, I am in school, so my schedule is really hectic right now, especially considering that we're dealing with this COVID-19 thing. So all my classes are online. I'm working a lot more now than I have before, so just bear with me. But this show will never die. It'll never go away. All right, so without further ado, let's jump right in to my first book. We're going to start with my Marvel comics. And you know me, I picked up my guy from Star Wars, The Bounty Hunter, issue number 2. Hoping you guys like this one. Ethan Snacks is writer. Also, a book that we've all been checking out, starting to pick back up again too. The Immortal Combat, excuse me, not the Immortal Combat, the Immortal Hulk, issue number 33, but it is Legacy issue number 750. Right? We got Al Ewing, Joe Bennett, smashing this one from day one. Excellent book. Definitely a good read. So if you're not reading the Immortal Hulk, you might definitely want to jump on it. Next up, another comic that I'm really enjoying. You got X-Men, issue number 9. Jonathan Hickman killing this one. Loving Jonathan Hickman. Just an awesome writer. Very talented. Next up from Marvel, we have Captain Marvel, issue number 16, which is Legacy issue number 150. It's a beautiful cover. Next up, and I know these are not from this week, but these are from my last haul, so I cleared everything out just so I made sure that there was nothing there. I wanted to make sure the comic book shops had all their money while we were going through this. So I picked up my my other copies of Daredevil, issue number 18, Chip Zdarsky. I already have them in my long boxes. These are my extra copies. This is Daredevil issue number 19. And as you guys know, we're headed along that 200 mark, you know, slowly but surely. I'm okay with slow motion. Slow motion is better than no motion at all. I'm not in any hurry to get anywhere fast, so, you know, I'll take my time. When we get there, we'll get there. But when we reach that 200 mark, I will do another 200 sub giveaway where I'll be giving away a nice big box of comics for somebody. So we're gonna move into DC now, and This is one that I had in my long box in my file that will be moving into my long box also. I had to pick up another copy of that DC He-Man and the Masters of the Multiverse, and that's that symbiote cover that we're seeing there. Thought this was just an awesome pose. The artwork is fantastic on this one. You know, kind of reminds me of that part in the cartoon where he begins to change and he grabs the sword right before he raises it. Next up, we have a comic that I'm loving reading. It's coming from N.K. Jemisin and Jamal Campbell. I've been enjoying this book from day one. The New Green Lantern, Far Sector. And this is issue number 5. It's a great story here. Great detective story. I really enjoy it. If you haven't been checking it out, definitely give it a read. And next from DC, I couldn't pass these up. We have James Tynion, and that is Batman, issue number 90. We have the second printing. Batman and Catwoman overlooking Gotham City. Can't go wrong. We got George Jimenez. He's on the artwork, and he does a great job at it. Tynion and Jimenez, they do good work together. And I picked up a second copy just to keep in the box. Batman issue number 90. And I don't know if you know this or not, but there was a comic that I picked up. Let me see if I can find it. I might not be able to find it. Let me just take a peek. Excuse me as I go off camera for a second. Alright. No, it's not in this room. It may be in my other room. But for those of you who have picked up Sweetheart last comic book day. If you picked up Sweetheart, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but there is a movie, a Netflix series that is out, and it too is called Sweetheart. And I was watching it, and it turns out that it is about the comic book Sweetheart. They have just taken it and, they flipped it a little. They bounced it and they flipped it. So it's not exactly what's in the comic book, so it's not exactly canon. But if you check it out, let me know what you think about it. Sweetheart. It's up on Netflix. Check it out and leave a post down below. Let me know what you think. Or just hit me up on IG and tell me what you think. I enjoyed it. It was different. It wasn't exactly like how the comic book wrote it. But I enjoyed it. It was a good flick. So just check that out. Sweetheart up on Netflix. I was surprised to see that. Okay, so here are the comics that I picked up just to do some fillers. So I picked up that Mark Spector Moon Knight issue number 4. Yep, and they're so fresh. I haven't even bagged and boarded them yet. So I got to make sure I get to that. All right. The Marvel Atlantis Attacks. It's a 64-pager. X-Men. Jubilation Day. And I was able to get these at a really good price. They weren't dollar comics, but they were fine. I didn't mind spending a couple of extra dollars in there because I would have spent it anyway. One way, any way, shape, form, or fashion, we spend money regardless. So, you might as well do it to help somebody. Especially the local LCS, so I'm more than happy to do that. Next up, Uncanny X-Men, issue number 147. Just in love with this one. I love this cover. It's a beautiful cover. Just some space fillers that I know I needed. Giant size annual once again. New Mutants, and this is issue number 3. And even though we can't get our modern comics in, you know, I will be continuing to spend my time. You know, I shop for comics online also, so I'll be looking online. This may be actually a good opportunity for me to grab some of those, maybe a grail or two that I've been trying to get my hands on. So it's actually not a bad situation. You know, I could save a little money, grab a grail or two that I've been trying to get my hands on. There are a couple of comics that I would really like to get my hands on, so I'm going to do my best. I'm definitely looking at that Fantastic Four issue number 49, first full Galactus, first Silver Surfer. I'm looking at that, and I gotta get my Hulk 180, man. I gotta get my hands on my Hulk 180. You know how it is, fellas. I know you guys know. So next up, we got Marvel Comics Presents, and we got Wolverine issue number 2. We got that classic cover. Really digging this one. Love it. Simply marvelous. Right? We're going to move into DC a little bit. Now, these may not be in any particular order also. So I didn't put them in any order, so they may flip-flop from comic to comic. So we got DC, and this is the Legends. And I had to grab this one because you got the Super Friends chilling on top of Mount Rushmore. For me, this is just the iconic cover. I remember seeing this one, and I know I just had to go back and get it. Very intrigued by artwork like this. That symbolic artwork. I love it. We got Justice League Annual. Always been a big Justice League fan. Grew up watching the Super Friends. Always loved them. I mean, I've said this 1,001 times. I am a Marvel guy, but I respect DC. I love DC, you know what I mean? So it's very hard to get me to side for either one because I love both. I love the work of both sides, you know. So, and again, here we go back to Marvel, and we've got a special edition, and we've got that Adam Warlock. Really digging this cover. Love it. Marvel issue number 1. What if Iron Man had been a traitor? It's for my What If collection. What if Iron Man had been a traitor? Man, we'd be in trouble because Tony Stark is a beast. And I don't know if you guys have heard this news or not, but Prodigy has also been optioned and been picked up. So they're moving forward with that as well. I know all movie production has been shut down, but they're still moving forward. Just because they're not making the movies don't mean that they still won't be behind the scenes making the deals in order to prepare themselves for when this thing slows down a little bit. You know, so Prodigy is a dope comic also, man. I read it when it first. I started reading when it first came out, when it first hit the shelves, and I was definitely feeling it, man. So, and I've got all the issues. So keep your eye out for that, Prodigy. Here we go, and this one again. This one is from DC. This is Wrath of the Spectre, and this is issue number 2. And I had to grab this one because this is that double-sided cover. Let me see if I can show it to you guys. Let's see. I don't want to hurt the comic. But I love that. That is so dope, right? Definitely fire. So I had to make sure I got that. Wrath of the Spectre. And I picked up a couple of 12 centers. You know, can't go wrong. They're always good to have in a collection, right? And we have Action Comics, and this is issue number 332. I had to add this one to my collection. We've got Adventure Comics. Got them working. Onward. Move, you peasant. I picked up this Harvey comic because, I don't know, it was just something just nice about it. It's just a beautiful comic, you know. I like to read it when I read the little punchlines they have in the front. You know, to me, that's one of the best things about these old Harvey comics, these old Archie and Veronica and comics, that they just, the jokes, man, like, they remind me of the old Bazooka bubblegum wrappers, you know, when you open them up and they had the little comic strip in there, you read the comic strip, and, you know, a little humor for a second, you know. I just can't believe Harvey actually volunteered to paint the fence, you know. Why not? Why not? With that exquisite specimen just chilling out there on the lawn. I paint the fence too. I paint your house too. I wouldn't just paint the fence, I paint the house too. And last but not least, just classic, you know, from my childhood. It was nostalgic. It's a nostalgia piece, so I just wanted to add it to my collection. Remember reading it when I was in first grade, you know, so I wanted to make sure I add this to my collection. It's not a perfect copy. It's got some dings on it. It's got some spine ticks, but I don't care nothing about that. I didn't really buy this for like no monetary gain or anything like that. This is that classic illustrated, that Junior, the Three Little Pigs. Just another book I wanted to add to my collection. Perfect. So there you have it, folks. Listen, I know it's rough out there. We living in some crazy times right now, but as long as we got each other, we'll make it. I'm not worried, so don't you worry. I'm your boy C3, and as always, we're going to keep it comics. Oh yeah, before we go, like, subscribe, share. Ring the bell, so every time I post up, you guys will be the first ones to know. And do whatever you can do to make sure your local comic book shop sees their way through all this. So if you got to call them, get on the phone with them, just sit down, make you a list, order some books, tell them you'll come pick them up, tell them they can slide them out through the through the sewage vent so we can get our hands on them. Whatever we got to do to keep them open. Tell them to string them up in the trees, and you'll just come through. You won't even stop. You'll just grab the rope and snatch the rope out of the tree or whatever. Listen, let's not let these comic book shops close on us, man. We need them. All right? So, again, as always, I'm your boy C3, and we're going to keep it comics. Everybody stay safe. Peace.